Hello everyone, and today we're going to be installing this OEM Nissan spoiler. Now this is going to be a little bit easy on us today since it is pre-painted, and we're going to be putting it on a 2015 Nissan Altima. And if you notice, we're going to have to do a little bit of drilling, so let's get started. And the products we'll be using for today, we have our alcohol, microfiber cloth, some touch-up paint, then we have our drill, painter's tape, we have our center punch, a set of stepper bits, a 1/8 drill bit, a torque wrench, flathead screwdriver, we have our deburring tool, some thread locking compound, a socket wrench with a 10mm socket and extension, then we have our car panel removal set, and we're going to need that tool in particular. So let's start by opening up the trunk, take a look inside, and I want to see if I can get in here and get you a good camera angle with the good lighting. It's a little bit bright out today. And we're going to take a look at these torsion rods right here. These are the first things we're going to have to remove and change out because with a spoiler on your trunk, it's going to add a little bit weight to it. So we're going to have to get better torsion rods that has a little bit more spring tension. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and remove that center plastic protector. So grab your flathead screwdriver, and this unclips. So all you got to do is get to the middle and pry it apart. Come on. And unclip. There we go. Then we'll go ahead and try to finagle this off the torsion rods. Come on. Got stuck on there. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and set that aside. And we'll start with the passenger side first. So this torsion rod needs to come downward. Now the way you can do this, you could take a ratchet, put a microfiber cloth on it so you don't try to scratch the paint on the inside, or you can use your trim removal tool. And all you have to do is pry very hard, go down, and pull towards you. Just like that. And now we can remove our ratchet. So the passenger side looks pretty good. Now let's move our way to the driver's side. Now this comes out very easily. All you have to do is remove it and take it right out the hole just like so. And use your other hand, try to get it out of there. There we go. Now we can remove the driver's side torsion rod. So keep in mind the trunk will fall because it's being supported by this last rod. So have someone support it before you take this rod out. And do the same thing. Pull downward and pull towards you. And then that one's out. Then we'll make our way back to the passenger side, and this one removes just as easy. And now that we have the OEM rods removed, let's go install our new ones. And we're going to install it in the reverse order as we took them off. So we'll start with the passenger side, hook it right in. And then we're going to make our way back to the driver's side. Take our tool and go ahead and pry it forward. Now this is going to require a little bit more tension than taking it off. Come on. There we go. And that snapped right in easy. Now we can install our second rod. So push it right in the hole. There we go. And then we'll make our way back to the passenger side. Now here comes the hardest part. This particular one's in an awkward spot, so I'm going to use my trim removal tool. And I'm going to try to pry it upward. And I'm going to try to get this in that particular spot. And this is going to be a little bit difficult. And then I'll take a flathead screwdriver, kind of pry it right in that hooked area just to hold it steady. Move my pry bar. Pry a little bit more. And then push it forward. Now here's where I'm taking one more tool and try to get it right in that hooked area. Come on. And a little bit more. There we go. And with the hard part knocked out, now we can reinstall our center plastic protector. And this snaps in very easily. And let's see if I can do it. There we go. And now we can focus on the trunk. There are 10 retaining clips we need to go ahead and remove. So let's go ahead and grab our trim removal tool and pry every single one of these out. So that's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 9, and there's 10. And now we can remove our trunk liner. So get around that trunk release handle, and this should fall right off. And with the trunk closed, grab some painter's tape and your drill template, and we'll go ahead and position this right on the trunk. And this is not very difficult, it's just unrolling it's probably the hardest part. And line up the template exactly how it contours to the trunk. It's not hard at all. And just because it is a little bit windy today, I am adding a little bit of extra tape just to make sure this thing doesn't flop up anywhere. And let's take a look at it real quick. So it looks like the template contours very nicely to the trunk. That's a good sign. And you can see every drill point it tells you to drill as well as what size drill bit. That's pretty cool. I've never seen a template this detailed before. So I'm going to grab my stepper bit kit and take the center punch out of it. I'm going to put dimples in all 7 spots. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So all you have to do is take that punch, go in the very center of those circles, press down until you hear it snap. So that's 2, 3, there's 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now that we have dimples in the trunk, now we can remove the template. So I'm taking tape only off the one side and the center. And see if we can get the rest of these off. There we go. And now we can take our 1/8 drill bit, and we're going to put pilot holes in every area where we center punched. So there's one, and there's the second one. Now you may notice I unroll the template just to verify I drill in the right spot, because there could be dents already in the trunk that was not for me. So I want to make sure I'm drilling the exact spot I put the dimples in. So there's 4, there's 5, and verifying we're at spot 6. And then the last one, 7. And now that we complete all our pilot holes, let's grab a stepper bit, and I want to drill the 4 9/16 holes. So right at the 5/8 mark, I want to take a white marker. I'm going to put a ring right at that mark because it's going to give us a guide to tell us when to stop drilling. And you can focus in. Yep. So we're going to start with the right side. And that's 1 down. We're on the second one. And that's 2 down. Now we're on the third. And get a little better lighting here so you can see what I'm doing. And that's number 3. Last one. And there's 4. And now we're going to grab a smaller stepper bit, and we're going to mark this one as well. I want to mark this one at the 5/16 mark because we want to drill at 9:30 seconds. And see if I can focus. Yep. So that's our stop point. Looks pretty good. And this is going to be hole number 5. Now for our 6th hole, it does require a 23/64 drill bit, but if you want, you can use the stepper bit at 11:30 seconds. And for our last hole, that's going to be our grommet hole. Go ahead and use the stepper bit we used at the beginning, and go ahead and open up that hole to 9/16. And with the drilling complete, let's go ahead and grab our deburring tool, and we're going to deburr all 7 holes. So just put it in there, and we're going to go clockwise. The whole idea is we're going to move all these sharp edges before we put down our spoiler. So there's number 3, number 4, 5, 6, and 7. And of course, every time you have exposed metal, you want to do any kind of rust prevention. So I have this touch-up pen with the exact paint match. So I'll shake it up, and we'll apply a nice thin coat to every single one of these holes. And there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And while this dries, we'll take a look at our work. So far, I don't see any burrs. I don't see any exposed metal. This doesn't look too bad at all. So far, these are very clean holes. I don't see any issues whatsoever, and I don't see any bad touch-up paint areas. That's not too shabby at all. All right, so we'll go ahead and let this sit out in the sun for about an hour. And after an hour's passed, let's go and remove the 4 plastic clips from the spoiler. And these come off very easily. They unscrew just like a nut. So let's see if we can get the second one off. There we go. Move on to the third. There's 3. And there's 4. And we'll pick up the spoiler and do a quick test fit. So I'm going to place the cable through the hole. That way I can get a nice flush look. And then line up every one of these holes. And we'll take a look at this. Looks pretty straight. I don't see any issues. I think we're ready to move on. So let's go ahead and grab our alcohol and microfiber cloth. And let's go ahead and douse our microfiber cloth just to make sure it's nice and saturated. We're going to clean this whole trunk area just to make sure that double sticky tape has something in here too. And with the trunk surface completely clean, now we can install the plastic clips. So go ahead and put them on the 4 outer holes of the trunk. So there's 2. And we'll press it in for number 3 and number 4. And now for the fun part, now we got to remove the tape liner from the spoiler. This helps if you have good nails. So little by little, go ahead and peel every one of those off. And see if I can get my last one. Unfortunately, I barely have nails. And with the liner removed, go ahead and place the cable through the grommet hole. Make sure the grommet lines up with that hole. And then go ahead and line up every one of those screws with those plastic clips. They won't press down until you do. And once it's everything lined up, press down firmly. And that looks very nice. That actually was perfect. And we're almost done. So let's go to the inside of the trunk and install the 2 spoiler nuts. So there's one that's supposed to go there and there. So I'm going to take a little bit of thread locking compound and just throw a light coat on every one of these studs. And see if I can get my hand in there for the second one. There we go. And now I'll go to the left side first, or the driver's side. Take our nut and go ahead and finger tight it on there. And see if I can do it without dropping it. There's one. Let's go to the passenger side. Move that cable all the way so you can see what I see. And come on. Yeah, it looks like it's going on there. That's a good sign. All right, there's 2. And then take your 10mm socket and socket wrench, and we're going to tighten this up to a snug. We're not going to torque it down yet. We just want to get it snug. So there's 1. Go back to the driver's side, and we'll make that snug as well. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and grab our torque wrench, and it's set to 34 inch-pounds, and we're going to torque these nuts down. So Wait till it clicks. Probably one more turn. Nope, one more. There we go, there's one. And we'll go to the passenger side and repeat the same step. And there we go. And now that the spoiler's nice and tight, let's go ahead and verify the grommet made its way through. And it looks like it did. That's a good sign. If it doesn't, just go ahead and pull on it like I'm doing it now, just till it fits in there. So, yep, looks like it feels pretty snug. That's a good sign. That means no water is going to come through that. And with everything looking pretty good, let's go ahead and connect our brake light harness. And it's going to be that brown connector right there. And it only goes in one way, so go until it snaps. And there we go. To give it a nice little snug. Very nice. So let's start putting everything back together. We'll start with the trunk liner. And we'll have to make sure we feed that trunk release cable through the original hole. There we go. And make sure everything's nice and properly snug where it's supposed to be. Now let's go ahead and reinstall our retaining clips. And these press right in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And just like any job, let's just make sure we clean up our mess. Since we have metal shavings everywhere, let's go ahead and vacuum everything out. And with our mess cleaned up, we got to do our last final step, and we got to test our brake light. Moment of truth. Oh man, that looks pretty good. So this is definitely going to pass inspection. That's awesome. Well, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe.